guys, Instructor Smiley, and today we're going to be talking about your custom manufactured ARs versus your mass-produced manufactured ARs. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Kratos Tactical for supplying me with a 13.7 Warfighter for this video. Thank you guys for that. We'll be going over it. But let's go ahead and talk about something real quick. This company did not pay me. I have a really good working relationship with them, so this was given to me for review purposes for this video. And I'm going to give you guys my unbiased opinion as well as a little bit of information. So before I get into the Kratos review, let's talk about the difference between a custom AR manufacturer and a mass-produced. So let's go ahead and knock out the higher end mass-produced. So you have companies like Daniel Defense, FN, Noveski, stuff like that, people like that, right? Guys that are higher up. Those guys' quality control is what you're paying for, right? You're paying for these guys, BCM's another one. You're paying for these guys to carefully look over every piece they make. Now, the difference about them on that higher end versus your custom manufacturer is instead of having one person or two people or a small shop look at it, you have a larger shop, right? So at Noveski, at BCM, at Daniel Defense, you may have more than one person looking at these rifles as they're building it. Again, it's still making sure they're in spec, right? The gauges and the tools they use to double check it, they're still going through that process, and that's what you're paying for. That's when you're paying these $2,700 to $3,000 for these rifles. Now, when we talk about these custom manufacturers, typically they're smaller shops, so you're probably, and for the most part, gonna get better QC with them because of the fact that it's not too many people going through them. As long as these companies are keeping their stuff up to spec, which most of them are, because that's what the whole market is around in the custom AR manufacturing area. These custom manufacturers are building the rifle for you. They're doing something that a lot of people can't do, right? I am typically a build over bought individual. My other two rifles that I have, I built myself. I have the experience and the knowledge to build rifles, so I will do that. But let's talk about the prices and the parts you're buying from some of these companies versus what you'll get. So, quick story. I have a friend named Al. Al really does not like some of the lower end or budget friendly AR manufacturers and the people that make parts for AR. So we'll talk about Palmetto State Armory. Al he bought a receiver from PSA, right? A lower receiver, and the safety selector port where your safety sits was out of spec. So, guns cleared out for you guys to see. Right here where your safety is, it is supposed to sit in the position, right, firmly. It should not be moving fluidly and loosely. When Al got his safety selector would spin around, right? So we'll go ahead and speak a little bit about that. When you have people that are mass produced, you could just call PSA and say, hey, my receiver's out of spec, my safety is doing a 360. All right, PSA will give you a new one. What sucks about that is you shouldn't have to deal with that if you're paying for it, right? Again, these are machines that are making the parts, so it happens. It can happen. I'm sure it can happen with Daniel Defense, BCM, and all those people. It's not as likely. But I'm the type of person that'll activate a warranty. I'll call PSA up, get a switch call today because I wanted the budget rifle, right? My Kratos rifle is my first custom manufactured rifle from somebody that was given to me all the way completed. And there's nothing but good things to say about that. So I'll start walking into that now. This is my 13.7 Warfighter from Kratos Tactical. So I'm going to go ahead and play some videos while I go over the specs for you guys so you can understand just the basics, and then I'll go into how I feel about the rifle and my personal opinion. So the receiver set is made out of 7075 T6 forged aluminum. That's typical. You see a lot of people doing that, and it's standard across the market. The barrels are made from premium barrels machine gun steel, 4150 chrome moly vanadium steel. All right, that's another one that is meeting the specs of your typical barrel, right? Certified to mil spec 1195E or 416R stainless. These rifles are gauged, so they are using tools to make sure that they are in spec. There's two options. You can get a quad rail or you can get the M-Lock. I am running the M-Lock right now. My career field is going to M-Lock right now, and when I received this rifle, that was something I wanted to have. I said I want to mock what my duty rifle will be in a couple of months here. They have a 0.75 inside diameter for the gas block, and all the 13.7 Warfighters or all the Warfighter series going out forward will have adjustable gas blocks. All right. Some new things because I have one of the first gen models and they've upgraded since then and added some things to it. So like I said, you have a gas block. Buyers will select whether they want their brake to be pin and welded or not. I opted for the non-pin and welded. I am somebody who goes through muzzle devices a lot. Right now, I have a Silencer Co. ASR on there. I'm looking to switch over to Dead Air, the Chemo mounting system, because it's just superior to the ASR. The ASR is not the best mounting platform in my opinion. I'm actually not a fan of it at all. This is my second brake. My first one is actually locked to my suppressor host, and it's not a good time. Going forward, there's an added billet extractors to the 158 bolts. And then they have a cool feature here. If you're somebody who likes to test the elements and wants to take your rifle and put it through a torture test or anything like that, there's a 8-position low friction buffer tube with many drain holes for water, right? So if you want to go swimming with your rifle, if you're into that stuff, you have a closed emitter optic and you want to push it, there you go. Again, you can get it in a rifle or a pistol platform. Mine is in the pistol where I'm running an SBA4. I believe you have the option of the SBA4 brace or the SBA3 brace, whichever one you prefer. If you decide to go with the rifle platform, you'll be receiving a SOP mod stock. There are 2 QD points. I have one on both sides of the rifle. The rifle is fully ambidextrous for the most part. The only thing that's not ambi is a bolt release. But you have an ambi charging handle, pull from the left or the right. Your safety selector is ambidextrous, and that's typically it, right? You can maneuver or manipulate everything you need from there. Here's one really cool thing. It comes with a one color or a battle worn Cerakote. So let's say you want your rifle to be sniper gray, right? The whole thing. They'll make it sniper gray, added in the cost, right? Right now, whenever I receive mine, I got mine in a burnt bronze battle worn. I love the battle worn Cerakote, so I requested it and he snapped, right? He went crazy on it and I love the way it looks. So that is some specs from Russ himself. Now, let's get into my opinion of the rifle. So when I found out I was receiving it, I asked him what the 13.7 was. The 13.7 is supposed to be primarily for your military guys that are training outside of work or that can have it at work, and your law enforcement officers that are on SWAT teams. So, or even regular patrol officers. If you guys don't know, some counties and some agencies will let you get rifles, right? They'll give you funding to go buy a rifle, or they'll contract the rifle out. The crazy thing about it is some of these companies are out here, or some of these agencies are buying the budget-friendly rifles and having issues with them. So just imagine somebody giving 50 PSAs to an agency and 13 out of the 50 don't work or have issues. That's a problem. Some of the custom shops, they might take a little bit longer to fulfill the order, but you won't have that issue in their local. I don't think I mentioned it. Kratos Tactical is out of Lancaster, South Carolina. So if you're on the East Coast, definitely check them out. But back to my personal opinion on these rifles. It's phenomenal, right? My first day I received it, we were out at a training event at GTI in Georgia, and there's a sand pit. I was throwing my rifle in the sand pit, picking it up, shooting it. It was running flawlessly. I didn't have any issues at all whatsoever. So that was already a check in my book, right? So if my rifle can pass a function test and run, I'm happy. I have the knowledge and experience to fix my rifles, so I typically don't complain too much, but I have 2,000 rounds through this rifle and haven't had an issue yet, and I don't foresee myself having an issue. One thing Russ says all the time is, I dare you to break it, right? His goal is to get you to break it so he can find out where he needs to improve, if he needs to improve. And I got to tell you, from a consumer's perspective, that's awesome, right? You don't have that idea where your rifle doesn't need any fixing, right? If it ain't broke, don't break it. No, break it and I'll fix it, or I'll make it better. That's something great that I love to hear from companies. And when companies do improve and get up with the times and adjust and upgrade, it makes me more prone to wanting to give that company my money. I believe, don't quote me on this, I'll make sure I add it down below what the MSRP is, but I believe MSRP is $1,600, right? So now, again, $1,600 to some people might be like, whoa, that's a lot. It's typically not. I know a lot of people like myself who build rifles and they charge $1,300, $1,400, and that's just them grabbing parts from different places. They're trying to make a buck. Not saying I do that, but people that have the experience to build rifles will do that. When you go with one person, he's making everything. Everything's made in-house. It's all American parts, and you're getting it from somebody who you will actually go pick it up to receive it from. Or you have an FFL. And then if something's wrong, you call him up and fix it. There are a ton of these out in the wild, and they're just low key right now. Typically in the southeastern part of the country, so South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia is where you'll see a lot more of these at. So some names I can throw out there of people that I know running them right now. Controlled Chaos on Instagram, they're running them. Kratos Tactical has a sniper team, and they all are running Kratos products, obviously. There is Instructor Blue. He's out of GTI in Georgia, excuse me. He runs a Kratos rifle, and Blue is not nice with his rifles. He puts these things through the ringer. Mitch is a good guy, and I've seen him put Sims through this. I've seen him put steel through it, brass, home defense, self-defense. They do a lot of work out at GTI, teaching law enforcement tactics and stuff like that, and Mitch goes crazy with it, and he has never relayed to me that he's had a problem. And then the OG, the guy that put a lot of us on, Trey Wade. He's an instructor for spec training. He runs a rifle. He runs a couple of Kratos rifles, and he is out of North Carolina. Trey's run. He told me he'll never blow one of these barrels out. He's like, you're not going to blow a Kratos barrel out. It's not going to happen. There are rumors of guys putting 30,000, or not rumors. There are stories. I haven't seen the guns, but this is from what I've heard relays of guys putting 30 to 50,000 rounds to these barrels and still running, no issues. They're getting grouping how they need to and all that good jazz. So there's not much negative to say about the rifle. That's my unbiased opinion. I haven't had an issue. This is my second Kratos rifle. I've been working with Russ for a little bit now. In the past, have I had issues? I had one issue, I believe. It was a port. One of my QD ports wasn't the correct size. It was a little bit bigger than what I needed. I told Russ, got a new part instantly. And that's the only issue I've ever had with them. Besides that, nothing. The rifle is heavy, in my opinion. That is because of everything I have on my rifle. So one thing I want you guys to understand, if you don't already know. So like I was saying, there's not much that I can say that went wrong with this. I will say that if I didn't receive this rifle, I definitely would have paid for one. Like I said, this is my second Kratos rifle. So I've already seen in the past that the rifle does what he wants it to do, right? So if you're a law enforcement officer or you're on SWAT and you're looking for a rifle, you're under a budget, but not like a too specific budget, just enough to get something great, the 13.7 is going to work perfectly for you. In the future, Kratos is planning on coming out with a lot of other stuff. He's already making a 12.5, I believe, 308. So a larger caliber, smaller barrel. That system, they're coming out with bolt guns. He already makes different calibers and barrel lengths now. I believe he has a 300 blackout out. He has a 9mm PCC out. He makes a lot of stuff. He makes everything from, again, defensive rifles to competition rifles. He has that ability, and he does it great. The guys that run his rifles in competition, again, they don't complain. They run it well, and they don't have any issues with it. So definitely look out on it. Again, thank you guys for following. In the future here, I'll be doing a review on the Swamp Fox Optics 1x10. Great optic. I've been running it out here for a while, just kind of getting more reps behind it, some more rounds behind it, and that's it. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and follow us, like, comment, subscribe. Give Kratos Tactical a follow on Instagram and check him out. He might have something for you. All right. Again, thank you guys for watching. Have a good night.